Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. Thanks to Guiding Stars for sponsoring this video. Today I'm gonna make you one of my favorite fall staples. It is so good. It is my ribollita. Ribollita is a classic Italian soup. It's got very few ingredients. It's one of those things that I crave whenever the weather starts to turn and I just feel like I want something comforting but just makes me feel good. It's filled with really wonderful things and it's just dynamite. A few years ago I had the pleasure of eating my way through Italy for a week. We had some amazing fine cuisine at beautiful restaurants, but nothing came close to being as delicious as the food that we ate that was cooked by the locals. This was one of those recipes and it was so good. It was served in just a giant soup bowl with so much bread under it to soak up all those flavors. It was incredible. And so every time I make this, I think of that. I love it. So I'm going to show you today a few ways that I am using and you can use the Guiding Stars program just to make some more nutritious choices when you are shopping. Guiding Stars, you guys know I've been working with them this year. I love this program. I truly do. I tell everybody about it because it's really great to get your kids involved, especially if you are as lucky as I am to have to bring your little one to the grocery store with you. It's something that they can help you do, is to look for the stars icon. Now let me show you. A lot of the times, so say you're browsing and you're in the olive oil section or whatever section, right? You can look for the icons right on the price tag, but a lot of times you'll actually find the icons right on the item itself. Now the icons have been updated recently and I will show you what they look like now so that you can keep an eye out for them. But basically it's a 3-star system, right? There's 3 stars on the item. There's 1 stars, which is these beans have 1 star, which means the item is good. 2 stars means that the item is better. 3 stars means that the item is best. So when you are browsing, especially this time of year, like if you're looking at produce or any seasonal ingredients, it's just well worth sort of looking for that icon just to make sure that you really are making the most nutritious choice when you are shopping. And that goes for like produce, pre-made goods, snacks, whatever. You'll feel a little bit better about just knowing that this is a program backed by science, so you don't have to read the labels. Listen, I know I got time for that. All you gotta do is pay attention to the icons, and it will tell you everything you need to know just based on the fact that they're even there. All I'm gonna start with is some extra virgin olive oil. Look at the color of that olive oil. You know it's good when it's got that beautiful deep color. I'm using extra virgin for this because the soup itself has such few ingredients. The main components of the soup are beans, greens, stock, and bread. And I mean, honestly, if that just does not wrap up all of my favorite things in the world, I just don't know what will. All I'm gonna do right now is finely mince some onion. I already chopped up some celery and some carrots. I'm going to chop some onion, finely mince up some garlic, and get them into the pot to start sauteing. Just taking the onions, garlic, and celery, and carrots. I'm going to start with the onion, celery, and carrots first. And I'm going to chop up the garlic. I'm going to add that right in. This recipe is truly one of those recipes that tastes better as it sits. So if you just want to make a huge batch of it and then just kind of eat it throughout the week, you could. It's a great first course or even a vegetarian entree, to be honest. If you want to make something like that for your holiday table, it's just such an all-around fall staple for us. I love it. And I think beans and greens, in every Italian household, everybody has their own way of preparing them. But trust me when I tell you that even if you just look, if you're Italian and you just look at a picture of beans and greens, you can smell it. It just feels like home, smells like home, tastes like home. I love it. And if you wanted to, you could add some really small like chicken meatballs to this if you wanted to. You could add a couple of chicken thighs and just let them cook low and slow and pull off the meat. You could do that. I like to keep it traditional as is, very classic. So I'm just going to keep that out. I'm going to let everything saute for a few minutes until it starts to develop a little tiny bit of color, and then I'll add the garlic just because I don't want to risk the chance of burning it, but I'm just going to add a small pinch of salt to the veg now. Veggies are looking so good. I'm going to add the garlic in now. Oh, let me tell you something. Just giving them a few minutes for them to just grab some color, caramelize, makes all the difference. All I'm gonna do is just dice up a few little tomatoes. You can use Roma tomatoes, you can use whatever tomato, you can even use like a half of a tin of diced tomato, you would be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and chop these up, keep my eye on my garlic because I don't want that to burn because that will get bitter. That smells incredible. Adding my diced tomatoes. Now, depending on who makes Ribollita, some people like it really red, lots of tomato product. Some people like it blush, little tomato product. Some people don't like any tomato product. So that really is just completely up to you. I do want these to cook down a little bit and just kind of start to break down. Now, let's talk guiding stars for just a minute, because say you are someone that you have good weeks where you're like, yes, I'm going to the grocery store every week. Things are doing well. And then there are weeks like myself where I don't leave the house, so everything is a delivery, and you still want to be able to make those more nutritious choices by using the program. Download their Food Finder app, go onto their website, and just search for whatever products you are looking for to see if they are available. Chances are they might be, and that way you're still making better nutritious, more nutritious choices while shopping from the comfort of your couch, if you are anything like me. So it's great. It's, everything is gratis, so that you are totally in charge of making sure that you are making the best choices you can. Every little bit helps. All about good balance. Am I right or am I right? Everything's in there. We're gonna add our stock. I'm adding veggie stock. You could add chicken. I add veggie. Don't spill. Don't spill. Don't spill. I'm not good with that. Add it all in. Yes. And now we are adding one of the most important ingredients. If you have been around here for a while, then you know the rind of some Parmigiano Reggiano will infuse with so much wonderful flavor. All I'm going to do is bring that to a boil, let it boil for like 10 minutes or so, get those flavors to get nice and concentrated. In the meantime, I will open, rinse, open, drain, rinse my beans. I'm also gonna get some kale just ready and washed and chopped. Get that setting aside, and that's pretty much it for now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my cannellini beans. If you are working with dried beans, you're gonna have to make sure that they are fully cooked before you add them at this stage, because this is only gonna cook for like, I would say 15, 20 minutes, not that long, because I don't want the beans to turn into complete mush. We do need some of them to be mushy, which I will show you in a bit, but this is perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and season. I also did add a pinch of Italian seasoning. I forgot to tell you, and I'm sorry about that. But I am going to go ahead and season with some salt and some black pepper, and I'm just going to let this simmer. Okay, just turn this all the way down, because I'm going to take about, I would say, a third or so of the carrots and bean mixture, maybe a quarter. It depends on how thick or loose you want it. And I'm going to puree this. Now, just please be very careful because it is hot. So you don't want to overfill your blender. I'm just using one of these little tiny blenders. So I'm just going to add all this in here. I also have my kale ready. I'd say that's probably enough. I don't want to lose too much texture. I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to go ahead, bring it back there, and puree until smooth. Turn that back up. Add this in. And that's what just makes it so wonderful. You cannot even imagine. Oh, and it smells so good. Once this comes up to a boil, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the kale. Let it cook for like 5-10 minutes. I don't like to cook the kale too much. I kind of like to hold on to its shape and color as much as I can. If you don't like kale, I'm using black kale, also known as lacinato kale, also known as Tuscan kale. It really works best for this. You can also just go ahead and use some cabbage. I like Savoy cabbage for this, but you could use regular cabbage. And if you don't like either, you can go ahead and just use some spinach. It won't be exactly the same because the flavor of the kale and the cabbage is kind of really important in this recipe, but you can if you want to. I'm just gonna let this go for a bit and I'll show you the next step. adding my kale right in. I'm only adding 1 bunch, but you could also add 2. Totally depends. Totally up to you. That is going to be fantastic. I'm going to give it 10 minutes, get some bread, get your olive oil ready, get your black pepper and your parm, and we're ready to feast. That is ready and it smells like home. Now, if you were my nonno Biagio, you would pile the bottom of your bowl with a ton of stale bread, pour that on top, let it soak up, and then you would literally eat the thickest, most delicious bread-soaked stew of your life. He did this anytime he ate anything brothy, stewy, whether it be brodo, pasta lenticchie, pasta patate, lentils, pasta fagioli, anything. That was Nonno Biagio's way of eating anything soupy. Can't blame the man. It's kind of phenomenal. I serve mine on the side simply because I don't want to add so much bread to the bottom of the bowl that it soaks up all of the delicious broth. It's making my mouth water. But you could certainly do a little bit of both. And it is so beautiful. It's got the perfect consistency. It's not too thick. I don't love it when it's so thick that you can't really... There's no broth, you know what I mean? I like a little bit of brothiness. Then you need, what my nonna would say, a little bit of olive oil, just a tiny bit of extra virgin, good quality olive oil on top, followed by black pepper. And of course, I mean, this is just incredible. And then you just take some bread. You know, in an ideal world, it would be stale. Ain't no bread going stale around these parts. Not never. Okay, nestle that right in there. That's kind of how I like it. And then it's just the most delicious. Oh, it smells so good. I can smell every single thing. I can smell the parm. I can smell the extra virgin olive oil. Oh. That tastes like my childhood, tastes like comfort, smells like home. It's everything I love, and I hope that you love this as much as we do. You just can't go wrong. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. Once again, thanks to Guiding Stars for sponsoring this video. To get more information and recipes and all that good stuff, check out the website. I'll leave a link down below. I hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.